Hey, you guys, we're live. About to go on the radio. Comment in the chat. We want to know that you're there. Let us know you can hear us, okay?
Hi, this is Sabrina Monday with Force of Friendship. Thank you.
Let us know you're there. Sign in and let us know that where you're watching from, okay? Who's downloaded the app? Have you downloaded the app? Good. Thanks for letting me know, Katrina. Thank you, namesake. All righty. Where are you? Katrina, Dia, Lisa. Where are you? Tag your girlfriend. Encourage her to join us. We got on all the colors today. Black, blue, pink. Okay, girlfriends, you cannot hear me, right? If you can hear me, turn your computer off. You should not be able to hear me. I mean, don't turn your computer off. Turn your volume down. All righty. Hey, Bronx, San Francisco, Washington, Charlotte. All righty. 1 minute till showtime. Who's downloaded the app? Here we go.
Okay. You can hear me fine, Michael? Okay. Still a wreck.
Here we go. Here's our agenda.
Okay.
Countdown. The countdown is happening in our ears. Get ready to call in.
Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Letting you hear.
910 AM live stream can now be seen on Apple TV, Roku, Chromecast, YouTube Red, iPhone, iPad, Android phone, Android tablet, Amazon Kindle Fire, any Windows phone. Watch us live at 910amsuperstation.com. WFDF Farmington Hills, Detroit. 910 AM Superstation, a division of
Where my girls at? I just love that part of the music. Where my girls at?
Do not necessarily reflect the views
my girls are all over the place. We're online. We're on the phone. We're on the Facebook. We are on the app. We are in Heart Radio. We are all over the place. And who could really try to make in this world without good girlfriends that tell you like it is? Let me tell you something. These women here, they tell me exactly like it is. And they tell each other exactly like it is. And they will tell you exactly like it is. So we welcome you to our new talk show radio, where we're still getting it together, y'all. We are still getting it together, finding the topics that you want to talk about, getting people to have the courage to speak up and call in. Don't hang in the background. Like, pick up the phone and call 313-788 7600. We're still learning how to interrupt each other in truth and not confusing our listeners that are on here. It's just like, wow, getting this all together has been a journey and we're having fun. So if this is your first time listening in, welcome and be present with us as we create the juice. I love it when it's juicy. We love it when it's juicy. So we have gotten some suggested topics from you. We absolutely love. And I can honestly say, you love it juicy too. You love it juicy. So we're excited to be on the 9:10 a.m. Superstation. You know what it's like when you're super bad all day long. You like to be on the Superstation, WFDF Radio. Monday through Friday, every day, you guys, Monday through Friday, from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make it a date and tune in while you're walking, while you're treadmilling, while you're cooking, while you're working, while you're driving, or while you're chilling. Or you might just be scrolling through Facebook. We got a lot to cover in this hour. We got a lot to talk about. Oh, my goodness. We have a topic, and then there's everything that's going on in the world today. But today we're talking about hard decisions when it comes to your girlfriends. I mean, when it comes to your kids, with my girlfriends. Hard decision when it comes to your kids. So I'm Gloria from the East Coast, and I reside smack dab in the middle between Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the talk show. We got issues. We got issues. We all got issues, but we're promising to keep it powerful, positive, and not Pollyanna. And my co-host, well, we are here live and ready. And we're all super excited because we're all well experienced at world travel. But we love to say that we're coming to you from the East, from the West, from the North and the South. Chrisette in Michigan, Sabrina in North Carolina, Katrina in Cali. Chrisette, what's happening? What's happening? Say hello to the people. Say hello to the people.
Hey everybody, it is your girl, Chrisette from the D. It is Winning Wednesday, and I hope that wherever you are winning. I'm excited to be here with my girlfriends, and you're right, I love that part of the song, where my girls at, and we're excited. So many of you have made comments, you're posting, and you're telling us where you're calling in from or where you're watching us from, and we are excited about that you are joining in on the conversation, because when I tell you it's a lot of issues going on, I promise you, we have one issue and then you turn on the news and another issue pops up. But today we're excited about this issue because, many of us, those of you that are mothers, aunts, right? Even fathers, you can relate to making hard decisions for your children. And I'm excited to be a part of that conversation. And we want you to join us. Make sure that you put this number down. We want you to memorize it. 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600. That's the number. We want to hear from you. And so now I'm excited. I'm going to throw it to my girlfriend all the way in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Hey, Sabrina, what's going on?
Girlfriends, it's another day. Oh my goodness, it's hump day, Wednesday. We made it through the middle of the week, and that's a good thing. That is a good thing. I'm glad to see you. Usually I could just hear you, but now y'all done added another thing, and it's a video, and I have to put my lashes on. Okay, radio was one thing. I just had to talk. Now we got to do video and radio, and really, y'all team too much.
It's a lot.
Team too doggone much, okay? And so you guys are stretching me, putting one more thing on the plate, but we believe we can bring value. We are positive. We are powerful, not Pollyannish. And so we're going to hit some hard subjects, a lot to talk about. I tell you, I'm so glad I got you guys to get through issues with, because sometimes people and their issues can cause me to lose my Christianity. So I'm so glad. I'm so glad that I got y'all to work through the issues. Katrina Harris Earl, talk to us.
Oh my gosh, this is like we are on the radio having the conversation that we have had for 30 years. Let's just be clear. This is the conversation we've had for 30 years. I've said when you have a big goal and you're really going to create something, you need 3 things: vodka, a Bible, and a gun. Okay. Now, I don't drink vodka, but like Sabrina said, sometimes your Christianity gets challenged. Okay. Can you believe that today in California, we had a thunderstorm? I mean, thunderstorm was so bad somebody's tree fell through their house. That's like an event in California, okay? And just hanging with you guys, last night I was on TikTok and Anthony said, "You're just messing around on TikTok." I said, "Oh no, I'm a radio host. I'm doing research." Okay. Because there's so many issues. So we got a juicy one today. Gloria, I'm passing it back to you.
Okay, now you know that's a good one, boy. Okay, so let me just do a recap here. When she said she's on TikTok. What I loved about that is like, oh, I got another title. I'm a radio host. I'm gonna start using that. I'm a radio host, and I'm gonna tell you, Sabrina, I sure ran over there and I put my lashes on lickety split, like lickety split. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm captain of Team Too Much. I don't know which one of you women are in denial that you are not loving Team Too Much. We love Team Too Much. Too much of this, too much of that, lipstick, hair, everything. We're Team Too Much. And this topic here is so exciting because these women here have done life with me and we've done life with our families. And so we're so excited because I'm thinking just what you said, Chris, is that this touches everybody. If you have children, if you don't have children, you've always leaned in and given advice from people and gotten advice from people and people solicit things to you. So you've either had to make a decision or you've been in a conversation with someone who's asked you for your opinion. And everybody's opinion is so different. They're just so different when it comes to kids, and they come hardcore. You know how they talk emphatically, like, that's the way you ought to do it. That's the way you ought to do it. And you say to yourself, well, that's my kid, right? That's my kid. So it's so exciting to be here and talk with you guys about what I consider to be a very important topic, because we would agree, we've heard it over and over again, probably the most important job that we will have is to raise the gifts that have been given to us in the good times, in the bad times, in the hard times, you know, when they're really cute little babies, so cute. And then they're crazy teenagers, crazy teenagers, crazy teens. And then they're super young, fun adults. We've been through it all. And then what about when you add a pandemic on top of it, y'all? Just add all of that and a pandemic on top of it. So I'm excited. I'm seeing some of the names of my girlfriends on here. Some have 2 kids, some have 3 kids, some have 5 kids. So this should be a real juicy conversation. But before I do that, because we got some people on the line, but before I do that, I want to tell you guys, out of the 331 million people in America today, 74.2 million are under the age of 18. Now, here's the interesting part. There's more children under the age of 18 than ever in the history of America, yet the percentage has been lower than ever before. It's at an all-time low. 24% of the population is 18 or under. So it's really quite interesting. I'm going to go right away to the callers because we have some callers. I want to hear from some of the callers right away. So let's see if we can bring in, let's see, we have Lisa. Lisa's on the line. Hi, Lisa. Welcome to the You Got Issues. Tell us a little bit about your issues or somebody's issues you know about. People in America today, 74.2 million are under the age of 18. Now, here's the interesting part. There's more children under the age of 18 than ever in the history of America, yet the percentage has been lower than ever before. It's at an all-time low. Right. Where do I begin? Right. Population is 18 or under. So it's really quite interesting. I'm going to go right away to the callers because we have some callers. I want to hear from some of the callers. Here comes a caller. See if we can bring in. Let's see. We have Lisa. Lisa's on the line. Okay. Hi, Lisa. Welcome to the caller. You got issues. Tell us a little bit about your issues or somebody's issues you know about.
Well, praise the Lord. I'm from Toledo, Ohio, and I enjoy visiting great
Sure.
simple when I can.
Well, I'm so
Bishop
glad that
Charles
you're
is
on. I'm so
dynamic person.
glad that you are here and you're listening to us as we talk about this topic, hard decisions that affect when you have children, hard decisions when you're having children. And we've got to make some hard decisions. And I bet that situation, you know, we make hard decisions that have to do with the entire family. So I'm so glad that you brought that to bear. So thank you so much. I'm really appreciative, really appreciative. Yes, yes. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And then we have Adele. Do we have Adele on hold? She on the line here? Okay, great. Adele, welcome. Welcome to We Got Issues. You got issues. We all got issues. And we're talking about hard decisions when it comes to your kids. What you got for us? Mm.
Her kids are going through the college application process.
Mm-hmm. Right.
How many of you have kids in the college application process?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right, right.
Kids in college. She's financing it. So
Right.
is it her decision, her son's decision? How firm
Right. That is
should you be with your son about his college decision? When it's your money? Who has kids in college?
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right, right. Right, right. No, I absolutely love, stay with us, Adele. I absolutely love that question because we're always faced with that question. How much responsibility is theirs? How much responsibility is ours? Sometimes it's not whether you can afford it or not. Sometimes it's what you think is the principal thing that's right for you to do, where you want them to go. Let's open it up to some of the other girlfriends on the line here. Who wants to take this one, ladies?
I'll take
Gloria.
that one.
Sabrina, go ahead.
I'll take it. I've got 2 in college right now and 1 who graduated. And I will tell you, it's a full-time job to apply, to find the
Right.
money, to look for the scholarships. And I'm very grateful. We have a college graduate from Howard University. She pretty much got a full ride at Howard University, and we looked for the best opportunities for her. And we went with who gave us the most money, and that was Howard. And so we're grateful for that. Then our young middle boy is a senior at UNC Chapel Hill, and he's a wrestler. And we said there were a couple other schools, who's giving you the most money? Who's giving you the most money? And who has the best program? Grateful for that opportunity. And then our youngest son right now is a junior at Princeton University. And I just want to tell you, Adele, that you don't want to clip their wings. I want every child to spread their wings, dream as big as they can, find the money. There's so many opportunities out there, but you have to dig for them. You have to look. We can even talk afterwards, and I can kind of tell you some of my resources, how we looked. I mean, you can Google anything. And I'm telling you, from boys who shoot rubber bands, they might have a, scholarship. I'm telling you, it's a lot of money out there. You just have to know how to look for it, find it, be very resourceful. So I say, let the kids decide where they want to go. Let's try to find some money, but then do not stress yourself out. I've heard of people, giving up homes and all of that. That's a personal choice. They go into a whole lot of debt. Now, you know what? That's a family's personal choice. But first and foremost, I just want to be of encouragement to say it's a lot of money out there to be had, but you got to dig for it, and it is highly competitive. But there's some money out there. Katrina,
what I love about that?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Gloria.
Yeah, I want to say that what's beautiful about this is that you have some people who are connected, that we're connected with each other, because when you get tired, you need some girlfriends to say, keep going, keep digging, because there's a lot out there. And I know we all want the best for them. We don't want to clip their wings, but sometimes you get so exasperated with what you have to do to make it across the line. And that's why it's one of the most important things. And what I wanted to say was, of the 5 things in challenging in raising children and being parents, one is education. So I'm glad you brought that issue. Who else? Did someone else want to add to that? Thank you, Adele. Somebody else want to add?
Gloria, I just was going to give Adele, I put the link on her Facebook, my Scolly, SCHOLLY.com. It's a great app started by some young African-American young men, and resources, over $100 million in scholarships. But it's still a hard decision, okay? Don't clip their wings. Wanted to share the resource.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I love that. Love that question. Thank you so much for that. And listen, you guys, I'm going to go to one more caller. I think we have time for one more caller before we go to the break. Marquette, are you there? Marquette, are you there? Yes, Marcette, tell us do you have an issue? You know somebody who else has an issue?
Marquette has 3 kids. They're school age. The decision to keep them at home or to send them back to school. Mm-hmm. Making that COVID decision.
Right.
I'm going to try to share the questions with you. She's painting the picture of the challenge with a 4th grader and different age kids that are wanting to do Zoom school or wanting to go to school.
Yeah, that's a really hard decision, you guys. That decision right there, I hope we have a lot of callers on that, because so many women had a hard decision to do, because I love the way you brought the fact out that it not affected just their education, but the people that they're closest to and the people that had medical situations. So to deal with that was a big deal. But I would love for you to hang on to the call. We got to go to a really quick break right now as we're talking about hard decisions when it comes to your kids. We're tuned in to 910 AM Superstation WFDF, and we'll be right back, and we're going to continue just where we left off.
We love our song. Will you guys share with us, what is the hardest decision that you have had to make as it relates to your kids? We'd love for you to type in the chat. What's the hardest decision you've made in our kid as it relates to your kids?
Yes.
Type in the chat. Type in the chat.
So we don't have any more callers after her, right?
So,
gosh. Okay.
Off, popping them on.
Okay.
What's the hardest decision?
All right. My friend's going to call in.
Definitely.
So that'll be great.
I love Sabrina's statement,
so
mothering my greatest achievement in life, most challenging and most rewarding. Yeah.
Okay.
I love that. What's the hardest decision you've had to make in COVID, before COVID? What's the hardest decision? And not just the mamas. I'm a stepmama, so stepmamas can speak up too. Or you can think about something that girlfriends have had to deal with, a girlfriend that you know. Letting them be on their own. Yes, a hard decision. How old? How old, Ruby? How old is your son or daughter? Letting them be on their own. What else is a hard decision that you've had to make as it relates to your kids? Hard decisions with kids. How about dating? Oh my gosh, dating. When do you let them date? Letting the boys have girlfriends, the girls have boyfriends. Ugh. 30. Got it. Yes. Your son.
Are we back?
All right. We're about to come back. That music is playing now.
Thank you so much.
So Gloria's about to pop back in. I love that we're taking turns being hosts. Oh, when your son joined the army.
We are back. We are back. I'm so excited. That song comes on. I just start dancing to my feet. We're back and we're listening to 910 AM, the Superstation. Before we took a break, we were talking about the issues around hard decisions when it comes to your kids. And that was such a good place. I hope Marquette's still on with us. Chris, you wanted to add to that conversation.
Yeah. I saw someone just posted that they have young kids. And, one of the hardest decisions that parents are having to make is around, should I send my children back to school? Should I, keep them at home and let them watch virtually? While some of them have a situation where some of their child might thrive in a virtual situation and the other one is just like can't handle it because they're social. We talked about introverts and extroverts. And so I was just thinking, my niece, who is the mother of two amazing children, Gabby and little Greg. And Gabby is in kindergarten and Gregory now is in the second grade. And they've been doing a lot virtually. And she had to make a decision, that, I think it's about time that I let them go back to school. But one of the things that she does, and they're doing very well, but she's also taken the necessary precautions. Like, for instance, when they come home every day, she stops them at the door, they take their clothes off, and she immediately puts them in the shower and gives them, some fresh clothes to put on. And so those are some decisions that, parents are having to make. There was a time we saw the commercials when the kids are home for spring break or Christmas break and parents are like, oh, summer break. They can't wait for the kids to go back to school. But now, so many parents have had to be at home with their children and, just seeing their children not being able to socialize and to experience. My heart goes out to new high schoolers that were so wanting to, have that high school experience the first time being at high school. And now, they're having to do it virtually. So those are really some hard decisions, Marquette. And I know that you just kind of go with your instinct. You got to, decide or look at your children and decide what's best for them. And many times, it boils down to, looking and seeing what the CDC is saying and also, putting that prayer on it, because I'm a total believer that, prayer is so important, especially during this time of the pandemic. So I just wanted to add that because I do know there are many of you that have children that are in school, whether they're in elementary, junior high school, or high school, and even our college students. So if you're watching and maybe you're doing something creative that can help somebody else, we'd love for you to call in and to lend your voice to the conversation. 313-778-7600. Katrina, I think you wanted to add something.
Yes, sometimes the hardest thing and the right thing are the same thing. I think back to when my parents got divorced and my mom had to make the hard decision. She could not afford to remain in my school district. It was not in her budget. And that was a whole other conversation, finding an apartment that would rent to a single African-American woman back then. She ended up having to buy property because no one would rent. But that hard decision that she made and that she pressed and she figured out a way so that I could be as close as possible to my school and not have to change schools in my junior or senior year. And then, Gloria, I think about not having given birth to kids myself, but being a Gigi to 14 grandchildren, 5 adult children. And I give all the credit to my husband for how he introduced and brought the kids into my life. I am not their mother. I don't attempt to replace their mother, but I also don't take a back seat. And so I've learned so much from you guys on how to have hard conversations with them. With 14, I got them from one age to the other age. So we done talked about sex up here, and I didn't play, talked about how to be potty trained down here. Hard decisions at every single step of the way. And honestly, so many times I think, what did I learn from you guys when as I was watching your children grow up? Because you've been amazing moms at every step of the way, and I've watched you make hard decisions.
Yes, that's been such a big deal to watch the kids at so many different ages. That's excellent, Katrina. I love the fact that you talked about from the kind of conversations that you have to have from here to there. Let me just tell you guys this. These are the 5 areas that make it really difficult at raising children. They said number 1 is balancing family and career. And we're like experts at balancing family and career. Then it says being afraid to say no. We can go deeper into these if we have time. It's also the culture of blame. That's a big one. When people want to blame you for this and blame you for that, and about your kids and how they react and how they make decisions. Then it talks about ensuring children receive a quality education. And then the overload of information. When I was raising kids, I didn't have the internet like they have it now, but there's an overload of information coming at you, but it can also be a gift. Okay, so I want to bring this to the table because I had to make a hard decision about my children once when my son was coming up and he was a teenager, and the women are on this call were also here. So guess who's my guest? My guest right now is Chauncey. Chauncey, he's a guest, and he's going to come on the line right now, and we're going to talk about what it's like when you have a parent who has to make a hard decision when it comes to your kids. Chauncey, are you there? Okay, so we're going to have a little conversation.
How are you?
Yeah, see, they're calling him Clutch. I was trying to keep it on the professional end, Chauncey, but we all called him Clutch. And so many friends have heard this story. But when Chauncey was in high school, he was fun on the difficult side of fun. He was fun on the difficult side of fun. And I remember I was working and I was in Mexico, and I got a phone call that he was hanging out with some people I didn't like. So I got home, and we went through this whole situation, and I was like, I remember standing in my office looking at Chauncey, and I said, Chauncey, do you think mommy has all of this to lose what's most important to me? And so I decided in a very quick time, and I talk about girlfriends. I had a girlfriend who had a son, was a year ahead of Chauncey, and he had gone to military school, and he had gone for the summer. So we decided that Chauncey was going to go to this military Christian academy called Fort Union, which was 4 hours from home and 85,000 hours from the next cell phone tower. And we were sending Chauncey to Christian military school, and he was in his senior year in high school. And you guys, when I tell you, that was one of the hardest parenting decisions I had to make, because it was right at the time when my daughter, who was a year older than Chauncey, was going to go to Spelman. And so that was the year that me and Chauncey were going to hang out, just the two of us. And I was like, oh, no, we're not hanging out. You're going away. Chauncey, what do you remember about that time? I'm
going to try to share some of it. Here we go.
So we decided that Chauncey was going to go to the military Christian academy.
It's a little bit of a delay.
Your mama's optimistic. She's so positive.
We were sending Chauncey to Christian military school, and he was in his senior year in high school. And you guys, when I tell you, that was one of the hardest parenting decisions I had to make, because it was right at the time when my daughter, who was a year older than Chauncey, was going to go to Spelman. And so that was the year that me and Chauncey were going to hang out, just the two of us. And I was like, oh, no, we're not hanging out. You're going away. Chauncey, what do you remember about that time?
Well, first, thank you for the characterization of fun. For those listening on the phone, I was bad. I was bad as hell. So, I mean, your mama's optimistic. She's the So yeah, I mean, definitely, I was not the best example, in high school. But it was definitely a tough decision. I was very mad at my mom, and I think there was a point in time, I didn't talk to her, and I was upset. Now,
one of the things I love
and looking now
him as an example. I use him as an example because now he's an amazing father with 2 boys of his own. He's a very well-established, amazing equity partner at his law firm, doing amazing things. And I remember when he was in law school, I had to go through the court system for something totally different, unrelated. And I asked Chauncey to write my impact statement. And the judge said to me, "Who wrote this? Who wrote this?" I said, "My son, he's in law school. He says he's going to be an excellent lawyer." But the reason I bring up that example is because when he went to Fort Union, he had one English teacher that stayed on him, and he had a dyslexic mom. So I wasn't helping him with any kind of English, but that teacher helped him a lot, and it made such a difference. And I guess what I want to say here to the parents is that it is tough decisions, that we will make tough decisions over and over and over again. And you don't know what's laying ahead in the future, but the fact that you were willing to make those decisions makes all the difference in the world. So I remember Chauncey was mad. Oh my goodness. He was, have y'all ever had a child so mad at you that you thought they would never talk to you again? Never talk to you again. But he did.
Hey,
he
Gloria.
We have a real close relationship now. Yeah.
I want to ask Chauncey a question. Hey, Chauncey, how are you? I'm doing well. So, Chauncey, I know that hindsight is 2020, but for our listeners, for those that are listening in that might have a child that is very difficult right now, and it's like, oh my God, I don't see the end. I don't know, how this is going to turn up. How would you encourage that parent that has to make that kind of decision to say, you know what, I'm going to pull you out of this school? And I can't even imagine your last year, all your friends, and you have to be totally uprooted and put in another school. So how would you, and I know you are an amazing parent now, but what would you say? What would you say to a parent that they should say to their child that may be going through a struggle right now?
There's a little bit of a delay, so that's why it's challenging for us to share. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to let you hear Chauncey. Man, he sounds like his mama. Hold on. It takes a while for Facebook to catch up with the live radio. It's like a 90-second delay. So it's the nature of internet TV. So here he is.
One of the first things, and I take some of these teachings, even with my sons are only 5 and 2, when we're looking at, elementary schools and the like, is, you have to make a decision, right? If something is going wrong, then what you're doing is not working. And so there's got to be a change. You will never know whether or not it's going to be a good decision, a bad decision, but at the end of the day, you can't be paralyzed.
That was powerful, Chauncey. Powerful, absolutely. Thank you. That's a great answer.
What's funny is I'm thinking about this, and I'm listening to both your voices. I'm born in Detroit. Chrisette's born in Detroit, and Chauncey is living in Detroit. I mean, Detroit is in the house for sure. So that's really exciting. Thanks, Chris. Thank you, Chauncey. I really appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much for all that you do to support us. It makes a difference. Yes. Thanks.
Bye-bye, Clutch.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
You guys, it still warms my heart when he says mom. It still warms my heart. I was going to say that. It still warms my heart. I know. We still have some callers here. So let's get Amy on the line. Amy, are you there for us? Hey. We can hear you. You got some issues. You got some conversation. You got some comments or questions. We'd love to hear from you. Right. Mm. 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 Wow.
Wow, that's awesome.
Wow.
Everything. And there was no alternative. And but I was not going to do it if the kids were going to be real upset. So I sat them down and I said, guys, what do you think? You know, Mom wants to start this comfort cake business. What do you think about it? And, you know, my son, Nick, you know, he said, well, Mom, you know, I know you like your front porch swing. We can get a house or a condo and put a swing on the inside. How about that? And I was like, well, honey, that's fine. Thank you. And so then Angelica, my daughter, said, well, Mom, a house is not a home. A home is a place you live with the people that you love. 14 years old. That gave me the confidence to go ahead and make that huge decision. And so, but by doing that, I did it, and it was, you know, still a big risk, but it also made me keep them involved with the business from day one. And so they're in their 30s now, and they're still involved with every business decision that I make. And I can't tell you what that does for them and what it does for me.
That's powerful. That's powerful. You guys, I just love that, Amy. Thank you for that, because when the callers call in, they not only are calling in with questions, but they're calling in with comments. They're calling in with some suggestions. We're calling in with some life experiences. We're sharing some wisdom. And I want to celebrate the transparency that we're getting on the We Got Issues talk radio show. So, Amy, that was phenomenal. Great leadership. I want to invite all the callers to do just what Amy did, was to call in at 313-778-7600. Stand up and tell your story, because I promise you, just hearing that lit some things and open some eyes for so many people. Sometimes we get so stuck when we don't know that other people have gone through some of the same things that we have to go through. But one person was courageous enough to make the decision, and you showed a lot of courage in making those decisions. And the other part that you shared that I thought was interesting is, how much do you share with your kids? How much do you share? And when do you get comfortable at doing that? And that's a whole part that people talk about, and they judge people. Oh my gosh. Before we got on this call, we had a girlfriend. We saw some judgment going on Facebook, and we were like lit. We were like, I can't believe she judged it. And we can become very judgmental very rapidly. So, Amy, that was awesome. Chris, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, thank you, Amy. That was, thank you for adding so much to this conversation. You know, I love this conversation. I was just thinking back, you know, Gloria, when you talked about Chauncey and that decision. And I was just thinking back when my children were, you know, in high school age, and they're adults now. Kiera will be 32 in May, and Buddy will be 30 in May. So they are well beyond high school age. But I just so remember a decision that I had to make. I remember when we moved from Detroit to the suburbs, and they were, Kiera and Buddy, they were so used to going to Christian school, going to our church's school. And so now they were thrust into, suburbs and a predominantly white school. And I remember Kiera, it was a few Black kids there, and she had befriended them, and everything was going great. I remember her coming home. She was so excited that her Spanish class, they were going out of the country to I think it was Puerto Vallarta or Puerto Rico, and she was excited to go. So she brought home the permission slip. We signed up. We're making the payments and so on and so forth. And so I'm excited because we're all about traveling, and so she was so excited. And then one day she came home, you guys, and she announced to us after we had paid all of the payments for the trip that she no longer was going on a trip. And so I was like, oh, you're not? Why aren't you? And her reason was because her friends weren't going. And she was going to be the only Black girl going on the trip. Now, I totally understood her being uncomfortable. I totally understood that she didn't really know them. And at that moment, I had to make a decision, because as parents, you want to protect your children. You want them to feel good about different things that they do. But I made a decision that she was going to step out of her comfort zone. I said, Kiera, we've paid for the trip. You're going on that trip. You are going to make some friendships on that trip. And I'm going to tell you, she was really upset. She did not want to go. And I'll tell you this, I really thought to myself, am I making the right decision, the right choice? And sometimes as parents, your instinct tells you you're making the right choice, but sometimes your heart is telling you, oh, well, is she going to enjoy herself? Is she going to make some friendships? Is she going to be isolated? Is this going to do more damage than good? And I'm going to tell you, I made a decision, said Kiera. In life, there are times where your friends will go with you. And then there are times where you're going to have to leave your friends behind because you need these different type of experiences. Long story short, she went on the trip. And when I tell you, when she came home, I couldn't shut her up about the trip. Oh, I mean, she had stories and stories about the trip. Oh, Mom, we need to go to Puerto Vallarta. We need to go here. I mean, she was going 1,000 miles a minute about this trip that just a few months ago, I don't want to go. I mean, almost in tears. And it's nothing like your children crying that make you think, well, you know what? We'll just lose the money. I don't want to make her do it. And so I'm just so thankful that was a decision. It was a hard decision because I really was thinking maybe I shouldn't force her to go. But as parents, sometimes we have to make those decisions that force our children out of their comfort zone, because we know in life you will never grow being complacent and being okay where you are. So I just thought about that. And again, I think it has made a difference for her now, because now she is more readily open to doing things that make her uncomfortable.
Right. That's awesome, Chris. That's awesome. That is so exciting that we're getting examples after examples after examples of when we stepped out and when our callers stepped out. And when Amy gave the example of calling, and then Kiera was like, no, feet in the ground. Can't you just see all the kids feet holding on to the wall, like, no, like clutch, no. I don't want to go. And you're like, yes, you will. Yes, you will. And then they come up like, did I say no? Did I not want to go on that trip? I forgot. I forgot I was upset. I mean, so good. Thank you, Amy. Thank you. We're going to go to Leslie. Leslie's on the line. Leslie, Force of Friendship, but want to talk to you. Force of Friendship wants to hear about your issues or your friends' issues. We got issues. You got issues. We all got issues. What's your comment or your question? Leslie, are you there? Are you still hanging with us? Maybe we lost Leslie. We'll hang out with Leslie. Hang on, come back with us if you can. Sabrina, you said there was some people with some chat there. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Before I go there, I remember my mother saying, because as a young mother, I was always concerned about doing the right thing. And I always said, if I could be a third of the mother that my mom was, I'd be doing all right. You know, and so I was making a decision. We were moving, and I was so concerned about if the kids were going to be okay. And my mother said, Sabrina, as long as you and Kenny are fine, they're going to be fine. Kids are resilient. They have bounce back ability. They will be just fine. And this was a time when, I think Kennedy went to three different high schools. We were in a period of going here, going there. Kenny was coaching different teams. And that's tough for young people because they, have to meet new friends, but they did just fine. And I think many times we can't take that guilt on. We have to know, like Chauncey said, we're doing the best thing that we possibly can for our children. And my grandmother, who lived to be 102, because I see some people here, my kid is 35, my kid is 40. My grandmother, who lived to be 102, she said, when they're no longer on your lap, they're always on your heart. And isn't that the truth? Our children are always on us. And so this is a woman, and she says, I'm trying to teach my son, this is Denise Crawford, I'm trying to teach my son, age 31, his responsibilities. I'm paying his expenses, bills, rent, etc. That's an issue. Isn't that an issue, girlfriends? I'm telling you, and I was telling Kenny the other day, kids are all so different. One of my children, very frugal, saves money like crazy. Another one acts like it just is coming out the water spout, okay? And I'm the spout, all right? And that is great. When are you gonna get that money doesn't fall from trees? So, girlfriends, what do you say? How do we teach them responsibility? And I do know they say that males grow up a little slower than females. And so what do you guys have to say about that?
Well, my thing is one thing is, I'm going to send it to you next, Katrina. One thing is that we do know this. They all have a different personality. Sometimes you look at them like same mother, same father. Where did the DNA get all mixed up in here? Like, for real. They have such different personalities when it comes to money, when it comes to friends, when it comes to being by themselves or together. It's just so many different personalities that come up. But when her point comes to how do I teach them their responsibility, it is such a tough place because you never really know, are they taking advantage of you or are they really trying? And if they're really trying, you want to give them the ability to give their best without putting them down because we're such lid lifters. But I totally understand her struggle. Katrina, you want to add to that?
I'm all over the place on that because exactly what you said, Gloria, everyone's different. My father gave me a job application as my 16th birthday gift. That was the only gift he gave me. I'm like, who does that to their daughter? And as a result, you have to worry about me. I've been working ever since. Pay your own bills. But I'm telling you, I have seen, and with 5 grown kids, we see it totally differently. And so it's unique. It's different. Of course, you pray about it. You look and see, just encouraging them to be their best and to take responsibility. One of the things I wanted to say is so much of what the kids get is caught, not taught. So we're making challenging decisions for them, but they are learning how to make decisions for their own life by how you model making decisions. Gloria, I remember like yesterday being in your home in Atlanta, the same one I got married in, when you had a reception there. And I remember someone asked you, what's the number one thing you learned from Harvard Business School? And I have repeated that so many times when you said that Harvard Business School taught you the power of decision. And I heard Amy say it, so it makes sense. Sometimes it's a good decision, sometimes it's a bad decision, but you just make a decision. So one of the things with your kids is teaching them to not walk in fear, to take a leap, to, and I used to believe kids should be out of the house, but now I understand why it makes sense for kids to be in the home because it's so expensive. There's a reason for them to stay in the home and build up their own money to be able to purchase a home for themselves. But I just want to finish with this and pass it back to you. moms, you are always one decision away from a whole different life. And this quote just hit me, knocked me square in my head, that the biggest plight of a child is the unfulfilled life of the parents. So your decisions, moms, are what's huge, because how you model it, how you walk it, trust your instinct. And no, you got them this far. You are a marvelous mom, and mamas just know. My mama done known some stuff, and I'm like, it ain't it. But so many times my mother has known me even better than I know myself. And I know she's listening down the street, down the hallway, saying amen. So I'm passing it back to you, Gloria.
Gloria. Somebody in the chat wrote this, and I thought this was really good, from TCP. She said, my kids' school taught them entrepreneurship. Now I make them work to earn the money to get the things they want. Now that right there is powerful, teaching them at a very young age, because, we know children, as you said, they're so resilient, and they talk about, children when they're so young, their brain, they're taking everything in, they're learning so much, when they are, just, in that, the first 5 years, they learn so much. And I didn't think that is brilliant that school is teaching them entrepreneurship. One of the other things that I want to add to the comment of the lady that talked about, her son, I would say sometimes, you have to make the hard decisions. Sometimes, when we're helping our children, we think that if we just keep giving them and giving them and giving them, that eventually there's going to come a day where they're not going to ask. But at some point, the hardest thing is to say no. Come on, raise your hand if you had a struggle sometime with saying no. And even though you know that the no was the best for them, it hurt your heart, but in the long time, the no will pay off in dividends. And so I know it's very challenging, but sometimes a no can save their life.
Wow. Sometimes a no can save a life. Sometimes a no can save a life. That is such a deep statement. I'm looking at the chat too, where people are thinking about being a single parent. We're talking about cost. Let me give you guys some statistics, because not only have we raised kids, but we mentor a lot of women who are starting families, who are growing families, and who are working families in entrepreneurial areas. Okay, so this was as of 2015. It cost, listen to this number now, don't choke, $233,610 to raise one child. OMG. And the biggest part of the expense, 29% of it has to go to housing. I thought it was food for real. Clutch made me think it was food for real. I could not believe it with the housing as much as, and Sabrina, I can't even imagine with two boys. I just can't imagine. So 18% goes to food. 18% of $233,000 goes to food. So it really does make such a difference. I mean, just crazy difference. The expense in raising them, and you guys are talking about the expense after they're grown. It's definitely real. Definitely real. Katrina, did you want to say something?
Yeah, and now, of course, because of the cost of living being so high, it's no wonder that the kids are still in your pocket now, 30, 35, because it's so expensive. And so, when we know better, we do better. Gloria, I just wanted to add this in, that I wish that this was available when I was growing up, because one of the best decisions we can give our kids is how to learn about money. So,
right.
I'm a GG at every age. So the youngest ones that have been under my tutelage since they were babies, I got them on Busy Kid. This is the app. They are on commission. And this app, it breaks down. It tells them how much goes to the church, how much they can only live off of, I think they can live off of 50% of it. They put their little goal thing in there. It tells them how much goes into long-term savings, short-term savings, and how much they going to have to buy a gift for their mom, and then what they can spend. And so every single Saturday is payday, and Gigi goes in and pays the grandkids. for books. And I love this. John Maxwell says he didn't pay his kids for taking out the garbage. That is called being a good citizen in the house. He paid his kids. They get paid for reading books. There are some chores in there and they get a little bit, but the biggest bulk is they get $1 for every book they read. They're young. Okay. $1 for every book they read.
That's great.
And sometimes they reading them books. I read a book, Gigi. I read a book, Gigi. So money, y'all. Hard decisions around money.
Hard decisions around money, you guys. It's time for us to go. Can you believe it? Our time is already up, you guys. This was juicy. We got issues. You got issues. Everybody's got issues. We want you to continue to tune in and follow with us as the girlfriends get together every Monday from 6 to 7 p.m. Follow us on the forceoffriendship.com. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us here and let us know what's going on. Join us over on Clubhouse. Watch for us on Clubhouse. We're bringing you issues every which way, north, east, south, and west. We're so proud to be here with you guys. And we'll see you tomorrow, 6 p.m., 9:10 a.m. The Superstation with the super bad girls all day long. See you later.
We're talking travel tomorrow.
Woo!
Okay, I'll turn it off.
OMG, the call has ended.
Thanks, Michael. You too. Thank you so much.
We are still live. We are still live for a couple more minutes. Oh my gosh. Woo, you did an amazing job, Gloria. Y'all give it up for the host. Give it up for our host, Gloria.
It says we're still live.
We're still live. I'm just.
Oh, good. Okay. So I can take this off. Okay. I don't know when to talk, when not to talk.
5 minutes of we got issues after the show. 5 minutes of
right.
First of all, I want to thank you guys. I know you can't hear the callers, and so we're working to fix that issue. And so we're working to fix that issue. It's a 90-second delay. So what we're hearing and what you hear there. So I'm trying to give you some of the comments, but thanks for hanging. I mean, the callers were juicy today.
Oh yeah. They were great comments. And you know what else? The callers, they were so good because they gave great information that other callers or people that were listening could use. They were really, really good today.
Yeah, and let's face it, motherhood is not easy. I stated that it is my biggest achievement in life, my most challenging job, but my most rewarding job. And hats off to the moms out there, especially the single moms. You guys are doing a great job. I read one of the comments was, I'm sacrificing a lot. I am a single parent. You guys have no idea how tough it is for me right now. And, we probably should, Gloria, this is your second marriage. Katrina, you married late, but we know that you guys, motherhood comes in a lot of different ways.
Right.
And so we just know that it's not easy, but it's so well worth it. So keep doing what you're doing. Surround yourself with a circle, an army of people. There's a lot of help out there in a lot of different ways, and don't be too proud to ask for it. Reach up and reach out.
Right. You guys, I'm just loving the fact that we are continuing to embrace women in all different areas of their life, and that we need to lean in and pat each other on the back, because when it gets hard like it is, and then life is like it is, and then the pandemic like it is, we really truly need each other. It makes such a difference. I'm loving the comments that are saying I'm learning so much. This has been so good. I'm getting the text messages from people that are listening all over the United States. So I'm so glad that you guys are helping us grow our tribe of women who are tuning in. So you guys all have to raise your right hand and say, okay, I'm gonna call in. I'm gonna use the phone and I'm gonna call in. You gotta call in so that we can hear your voices at 313-778-7600, because lending in your voice does take courage, but it also is the biggest gift, because when you can give the gift of your wisdom, the gift of your experience, the gift of your transparency, and the gift of what you're concerned about. I always tell people, when you ask a question, that means a lot of people have the same question, but you're just the only one that's courageous enough to ask. So this has been super, super good, super good, super good.
Yes, yes, yes. Tomorrow we're talking travel. Are you ready to go on the airplane? Oh, we got to go. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's
Hey, look, Bishop.
Hey, wow.
Tell him we're still on the air. Tell him we're still on the air.
Y'all getting a little too big here. y'all getting a little too big here. So y'all gonna have to rein it in. Right? Hey,
You sound like the queen. Can you be half of what you are, Megan?
Right, exactly.
Now she didn't tell you Kiara came back from that trip, and she didn't convert them; they converted her. She started drinking Starbucks every morning.
Okay,
That's how that started.
Hey, wearing pajamas in the wintertime with clothes. I'm like,
no, she didn't.
If you don't put on some clothes and act like you.
I love it. We're going to do a parents thing. We're going to get parents lies we can tell about our parents, and the parents can tell the lies about us.
I know. Okay, what's the topic tomorrow? I'm so sorry, Chrisette. You got your show tomorrow. What is the topic?
Thank you. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about mental health. Health. And that is so important. You guys, I was reading. I had a friend of mine who texted me early in the morning that her daughter woke up and they announced at her school that one of her classmates had committed suicide. And that is really, really something that has been happening a lot, especially during the pandemic. It's affecting, everybody. It's affecting our children, it's affecting adults, and even those that already had some mental health issues. It has exacerbated it because of the pandemic. So I have a special guest that's going to be on with us tomorrow. She's a licensed clinician, and she is amazing. And she's just going to talk about, what are some of the signs, what are some of the things that you should look for, and some of the things that we should do. And I love the fact that now, before it was something that you swept under the table or you kept it in the closet. Nobody talked about it. Everybody kind of whispered, oh, that's my crazy aunt, my crazy uncle. And nobody wanted to talk about it. But now, the world is embracing the fact. Just like, did you guys see? And you know what we need to talk about too? What's his name from from UK? Piers Morgan.
Yes.
I think he resigned his position because of what he said about Meghan Markle when she talked about she was having some mental health challenges. You never tell somebody, that's having mental health challenges. All right, Daddy.
Hey, Dad.
Enough of this show. Enough of it. I got an issue. It's time for me to eat. Okay.
Yep. Me too.
This is live. This is live. My 93-year-old father, he sits in here patiently listening to We Got Issues, and I know he's seriously saying, "Yeah, I need to talk about the issues my daughter has." But anyway, so tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be a juicy show on tomorrow from the standpoint. I think it'll be one that's enlightening and something that we need to talk about. We absolutely need to talk about. So I'm excited about what's going to take place on tomorrow.
And you guys, we you know how we get on here and we gather issues. You just brought up Piers Morgan, and that's under bullying as well. That's another really hot topic that we need to talk about is bullying and the way that it's dealt with and all that kind of stuff. So we want to tell you guys that are still on with us that if you have some ideas, please let us know what topics you'd like to hear about. So that was awesome.
So lock this number in your phone, you guys. Just put We Got Issues, dial in number every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 7 Eastern. Have it in your phone already so you can share it and ask a girlfriend to call in, ask someone to call in. We want to hear your issue, your comment, your question, and we out. I think we're out until tomorrow. So
okay.
Bye.
Bye, you guys. So much.